Good evening everybody and welcome to our Ordinary Council meeting. Just remind the members of the public that by being here in accordance with our live streaming policy they do consent to their image and or voice being recorded. I'd like to call upon Councillor Barry Winmar to present the Welcome to Country.
Thank you, Worship. I'll begin by acknowledging my elders past and present, acknowledge the land we're on today is Noongar country. Ngalak nyening kurulang kurang ngalak noich nija Noongar boja. Noongar mo jerpa nyening din ngalak kwabarok Noongar boja kurulong. From the beginning of time to the end, this is Noongar country. Noongar people have been graceful keepers of our nation for many, many years. Jenijin karajan jerpa nija wern Noongar boja ngalamai mai border. Look, listen, understand and embrace all the elements of Noongar country, because this is forever our home. Kai wanjungan korja penija Noongar boja dajali wangini Noongar boja. Hello and welcome. My heart is happy as we're gathered here and meeting on Noongar country tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, and in response it does give me great pleasure to welcome you all here tonight. And before proceedings, I would like to acknowledge that we come together tonight on the traditional land of the Noongar people and we pay respects to the elders past and present. I'd like to call upon Deputy Mayor Peter Fezzi to read the dedication.
May we, the elected members of the City of Kwinana, have the wisdom to consider all matters before us with due consideration, integrity, respect for the Council Chamber. May the decisions made be in good faith and always in the best interest of the greater Kwinana community that we serve.
Thank you. Item 4, there is only one leave of absence previously approved, and that's Councillor Dennis Wood. Public question time. I don't believe I've been provided any questions from members of the public. I have nothing on item 6.123. Item 7.1 is a confirmation of the minutes of our ordinary council meeting held on the 26th of July. Are there anything anybody would like to raise with those minutes? If not, do we have a mover? Move Councillor Rouse, seconded Councillor S. Wood. Nothing to raise, thank you. Put it to the vote, all in favour, against, carried. Are there any declarations of interest? Nil. Any request for leave of absence? Nil. Thank you. There's nothing on item 10, 11, 12, 13 or 14. Item 15, 15.1 is the sale of land for unpaid rates. Are there any questions in relation to this item on any of those assessments? Thank you. Do we have a mover?
I'll move that, Your Worship.
Moved Deputy Mayor, seconded Councillor Winmar. Deputy Mayor, do you wish to speak on the item?
Just briefly, Your Worship, for the gallery and those people following from home. It is unfortunate that the city comes to the position where we have to apply to sell properties to cover the cost of rates. I will say that it is clear from the agenda that the city has gone to many opportunities to try to recoup the rates from said ratepayers. This is not a you haven't paid, we're going to sell your house. So in some cases these payments are many years old. So I guess once again, as I said, it's unfortunate that we've got to this point. I believe that quite often when we get to this point, most people enter into a financial arrangement with the city to pay that off, which is obviously available to all those people. So once again, it is unfortunate, but unfortunately it's something that the city needs to do to ensure that we recoup debts to the city, unfortunately, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Winmar, anything further?
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Fellow councillors also like to echo the sentiments to the pressures of community, and especially those in our community of Kwinana, and echoing the words of the Deputy Mayor. These measures are not taken lightly. They are over an extended period of time, and it gets to a point where we are looking at running out of options to be able to negotiate and move forward on these matters. And taking that into account, we also still appreciate that ratepayers, with these outstanding assessments and notices, their situations may not change, but there's still the opportunity to be able to work through this, and this provides the best opportunity from a council perspective and in the interest of all our ratepayers to ensure that we remain fair, open, honest and accountable. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak against? I shall put it to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Item 18.1 is our policy review for the City of Kwinana elected members, committee members and candidate code of conduct. Are there any questions arising from this item? If not, we have a recommendation. Would somebody like to move that way? Moved Councillor Winmar, seconded Councillor Rouse. Councillor Winmar, would you like to speak on the item? Councillor Rouse. Anybody wish to speak against? I shall put it to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Item 18.2 is our council policy review for elected members. Are there any questions on any of those four policies? Do we have a mover?
Actually, Your Worship, just a very minor, brief question. This is in relation to the the elected members' allowances, expenses and gifts policy. I did preface that it was a very minor question in relation to there's a couple of items in there that I think have been there from years gone by. One of which is the city providing a council jacket to the council. Though I don't believe anywhere it actually states that a councillor is required to wear a jacket. So just wondering why we continue to have that in the policy, when also, if we look around the room, not all councillors are actually wearing their jackets and quite regularly don't wear jackets to council meetings. So I'm just wondering, it's not a huge expense, but just wondering if that's should still be in there, considering there's no requirement for a councillor to wear a jacket.
It's an option, and just to clarify, councillors sitting around the table do wear a jacket. It may not just be the one that's provided by the City of Kwinana. So it's really an option whether you wish to have the jacket or not, but it is a basic etiquette that we do still wear a jacket in council chambers. Jacket of your choice, not necessarily a City of Kwinana jacket.
Sorry, this is to clarify, Your Worship, because where actually does it say in the standing orders of the Code of Conduct that you're required to wear a jacket?
No, I think that's because it's silent, it's optional. I think that's what the CEO is referring to.
I guess it's optional whether you wear a plain jacket or whether you wear a jacket with the city's logo on it. But my question kind of goes back to, where does it actually say you have to wear a jacket full stop, Your Worship?
I'm not sure. It doesn't, so it's silent. But it's been a custom and practice as long as I've been on council and before that, that as part of, I suppose, social practices is that you've worn a council jacket to a council meeting.
Sorry, Worship, I'm not trying to be pedantic, but I understand what you're saying and I don't disagree with you, but I guess what I'm saying is if we have a policy saying that a councillor will be supplied with a jacket with the city's logo on it, but then there's actually no policy that says they should wear a jacket with the city's logo on it. So why are we providing?
So are you seeking to amend the policy, councillor?
Well, I'm just wondering, with this more of a clarification, Your Worship, should there be something in said policy or should it just stay as is, Your Worship? Because I guess at the moment, in reality, none of the councillors really are required to wear a jacket, Your Worship.
So if you wish to ask the question and you wish to make an amendment, now's the time, because it is a policy and we're doing the policies before us. Do you?
So I don't think that this particular policy actually has the ability to ensure councillors do that. I would imagine it's possibly code of conduct. No, not even standing orders. I'm not sure.
Code of conduct.
Through you, Madam Chair, if you were to do anything, it would come under the Code of Conduct. But the Code of Conduct also does not cover, the Code of Conduct covers behaviour, but it doesn't cover dress standards.
Okay. You've answered my question, Your Worship.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? I shall put it to the vote. Sorry. Can I have a mover, please?
I'll move that.
Moved Deputy, seconded Councillor Wood, S. Wood. Do you wish to speak further on the item? Councillor Wood, thank you. Anybody wish to speak against? I shall put it to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Period. There is nothing on item 19, 20, 21. Deputy Mayor, do you have any reports?
Briefly, Your Worship, I attended, along with Councillor Brown, an event in Medina for the. I'm sure that Councillor Brown will tell exactly what the group was called because I just can't remember, Your Worship. It's a local Indian group that they previously ran the big festival down on Callisto Oval a couple of years ago with fireworks and stuff and some activities. So it was an event for local ladies in the community, and there was a number of displays, some stalls, and some entertainment, Your Worship. It was a good while I was there, Your Worship.
Thank you. Councillor Winmar.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. Firstly, it's pleasing to be back in the chamber, back with my fellow councillors, due to a prolonged illness. So I've just undertaken the duties that require me as per my office, but I'll be looking forward to getting active and back and out into the Kwinana community. Thank you.
Thank you, and glad to see that you're feeling better. Thank you, Councillor Rouse.
Nothing to report, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Your Worship. So last Friday, it was an early start alongside Deputy Mayor Peter Feasy and Councillor Matthew Rouse as we attended Nova 937's live broadcast from Kwinana at the Wellard, starting at 6 a.m, I believe it was, and which was dubbed Kwinana Rama, as Nathan, Nat and Sean met local residents and our very own Premier Roger Cook came down as well. It was a great turnout and a super fun morning with plenty of laughs and coffee to keep us warm on the chilly winter morning. For those who weren't able to tune in or weren't aware, after a quick visit to his house nearby, the Premier then took Nova's Nathan, Nat and Sean on a tour of Kwinana's industrial area, where he showed them how our city is playing a leading role in the state's economy and the globe's transition to sustainable energy. Other sites on the tour included Kwinana Golf Club and Pace Road Tavern. I think I can speak on behalf of everyone that was there. That was a really awesome way to put Kwinana in the spotlight for a West Australian audience on radio. Later on Friday morning, I attended the latest Coburn Sound Management Council meeting with items on the agenda including the update on H2 Perth and Westport and a review of the Council's communication plan and strategy where members discussed ways to enhance the Council's engagement and communication with a wide variety of stakeholders including local governments like the City of Kwinana. As part of my member update from the City of Kwinana at this forum, I spoke to the success of the city's drainage net system installed at locations such as Henley Reserve, Aurelia Oval, Sloanes Reserve and Oakley Road, designed to capture rubbish and debris before it enters our natural waterways, parks and reserves. I passed on that the city recently announced that over the past 5 years, the drainage net systems had collected over 3,600 kilos of material that would have otherwise ended up in the local environment. Those in the room here and residents listening at home may know that this local drainage net system actually went viral a few years ago around the world, to date reaching an audience of millions across social media, news and television, with the original Facebook post from the city now being shared over 175,000 times. And also, I'd like to point out, the other night I actually saw a post on Twitter about these drainage nets in the city of Kwinana, which alone had over 2.2 million views and thousands of engagements through comments and likes. So I think it's great that the city continues to get exposure for initiatives like this. Last Saturday, I joined Deputy Mayor Peter Feasy in attending Tian Perth Dion 2023, where around 600 members of the Indian community came together at an event full of colour, music, dance and stallholders held at our local Medina Hall. It was a real privilege to experience the festivities celebrating this diverse culture in such a fun atmosphere, and to have the opportunity to say a few words on stage to welcome and thank everyone for choosing the City of Kwinana as the location for this fantastic event. I'd like to shout out to King's Multicultural Club, the event sponsors and everyone involved in making this happen, and for the super kind hospitality throughout. Deputy Mayor Peter Fees and I would be being treated to ice cream and tea through the event, so that was really cool. And also last Saturday evening, the Kwinana South Volunteer Bushfire Brigade held their end-of-season function, where members came together to celebrate the brigade's achievements over the past year. I was proud to have the opportunity to represent Mayor Cara Adams and Council at the event and thank the brigade for their incredible efforts in serving our local community in what are often tough and dangerous circumstances, as well as the huge amount of time put towards preparing and training for these emergencies before they occur. Big thank you to Captain Chris Artemis and the team for a very warm welcome. I would also like to take this opportunity to say a big congratulations to Edwin Mona, who received the Chiefs Award on the night in recognition of his extensive contributions to the brigade to date, which includes 13 years as captain, I believe, and over 20 years as an office-bearing member. So well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Councillor Estwood.
I've performed all those duties required of me, and along with Councillor Kearney, I attended a disability reference group meeting where we discussed numerous matters pertaining to disability access in our city. We had a presentation on the draft events policy and framework, plus one on the city staff preparing a business case for upgrading the Kwinana Aquatic to include more accessible doors for disabled. We also had a presentation on the Medina car park upgrade with several suggestions made to improve access. Altogether, we had a very productive meeting. I also, along with Councillor D. Wood and Councillor Winmar, attended the Lions Club changeover, which I forgot to mention last time. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Kearney.
No, I have nothing more to add.
Thank you. There are no answers to questions. Mayoral announcements. Sorry, I haven't provided a written one tonight, so I'll just go through a couple of things on the fly, so to speak. As you're probably aware, the CEO and I, along with the Director of the Perth South West Metropolitan Alliance and mayors and CEOs from the Alliance members, went on a tour in Brisbane and Gold Coast, but before that the CEO and I and Mr Carter went to Parliament House but speaking on behalf of the Alliance in relation to various issues, and I'm happy to provide a feedback on that, but all I can say is that we were well received. The meetings that we had with either politicians or their staff have been very fruitful, and the information gained will be of benefit to the member councils. I also attended the US Consul to Perth's private residence on Friday last week, where there was a formal welcome to the US submarine USS Carolina. That's now docked at Garden Island, and it's really just part of the AUKUS build-up, and I was able to speak with up-to-date information that I'd gleaned whilst we were at Parliament House in relation to some of the issues that we believe are going to be facing the contingent when they come out, particularly in relation to where they're going to be dealing with housing, because we also went to the Defence Housing Australia whilst we were in Canberra and just alerted them to what we were aware of, so hopefully the two organisations will be speaking and work something out, because the Americans are coming and they'll be here as first contingents by the end of the year, but the majority by the 2027. So in a blink of an eye we'll be having a lot of people here and a lot of services required, and it was really about, to be honest, be flying the flag for local government, saying there are three tiers of government. We're the tier of government that create communities, and if we're going to be having a naval build-up, we want to have a seat at the table and be involved in any information sharing or any decisions in relation to community-based issues. And I think as a result of our meetings, I'm hoping that will eventually come about. I also like to mention that I went to the farewell of Annette Harwood. Annette's been the CEO of Keys for about 13 or 14 years now. Annette departed on Friday the 28th of July. amazing legacy through the Kwinana Early Years Service, what she's done, the programs that she's implemented during that time. I was chair for a period of time, and I believe Deputy Mayor, you may be the new chair, is that correct? See what happens when you go to an AGM? Or don't. Yeah, so congratulations on stepping up, because Keys is a wonderful organisation, creating stronger family connections for children in Kwinana, and also, I believe, in spreading out to a Rockingham area. So, look, other than that, I'm sorry, I have had a little bit of time off, so that is my report, and I'll probably table it through Lindsay when I have the opportunity to do that. There are no confidential items, and I therefore declare the meeting closed at 17:50. Thank you.